Today I'm going to be interviewing one of Beatstars' top-selling producers, making over $25,000 per month off of his Type Beat channel and getting millions of views across his platforms. We're going to be going over his exact approach to the Type Beat game and overall how he became a big producer in the scene.
What's good, bro?
You alright, bro? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm glad to have you on.
Yeah, it's good to be on.
I've got a few questions lined up. Some of them are from me, and some of them are also from subscribers. First off, I just want you to give a little bit of an introduction about yourself, you know, how you got into making beats, where you're from, and let the people know who you are.
Alright, hi guys, I'm Jake Angel. I'm from England, and I started making beats about 3 years ago. Just posted them online, and then a few big artists started using them, and then I've recently just moved to Nashville in America, so I'm working with a lot of country artists here and a lot of rap artists in like Atlanta and LA and whatnot.
So what got you into making beats, and then how did you make your very first sale?
I learned like classical piano since I was 5. So I was always doing music stuff, and then I kind of got bored of learning piano pieces, so I was making my own melodies and whatnot. But what got me into producing was originally it was Avicii. I was like obsessed with Avicii songs. I didn't even discover that beats were a thing until about 3.5 years ago. I didn't realize that selling beats online existed, and then I watched a bunch of videos online about Nick Mira and the whole Internet Money group, and I'm like, this is definitely for me, because I can't sing for shit, and then I can't write lyrics either, so I'm like, this is definitely for me. My first sale, I remember it was about a month after I started. I posted 30 beats in a row, made no sales, and then I was just out on a walk, and then as I was walking back into my door, I just got the dopamine hit of the the notification, and it was $15 sale. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. It was insane. Like, the feeling of that was insane, and it was also just validation that like people are willing to pay money for it. So that was like the moment I thought I should go all in with this, because if one person's willing to buy after a month, then you know, who knows what could happen.
Exactly, bro. I kind of had a similar story where it's like, didn't even know selling beats was a thing, but as soon as you get that first sale, that's when you realize there's a whole world of people out there making thousands of dollars selling beats. Yeah,
that was the thing. Like, I didn't realize it was an opportunity until I saw, I think it might have been a Kyle Beats podcast, you know. He was interviewing Taz Taylor, and Taz said that he made like 500 grand in a year selling beats, and I'm like, there's clearly people make that much, so exactly, yeah. why couldn't, you know, it's possible, so why couldn't I do it?
Do you think having like prior music knowledge helped when it came into making beats?
Yeah, definitely. 100%, that helped a lot. I mean, the music theory, so I did piano up to about grade 6, and I did the whole theory exam. Like, I had to do a theory exam for that. So I like learning all the scales and the chords and whatnot. And it's to the point, like, I can just hear a piece of music and know what the chords are and the melody is on, and just be able to play it. Because of that, I understand what melodies would sound good with a certain chord sequence. So it just speeds up the whole process, and it means you can create melodies that are unique sounding instead of just ripping them off Splice, you know, like everyone else.
No, that's definitely a very unique skill, which I think is going to help you stand out from the rest, because a lot of people don't know anything about, you know, scales and just melodies in general. A lot of people just only do drums or just can't make a good melody.
Yeah, and in terms of like speed, like if you don't know the theory already and you want to get into beat making, you know, the theory will take years to learn. It's the same, like, I can't play guitar, for example, but I've just got loads of really good guitar plugins that sound real. So it took me like 3 months to master those, whereas it would take me like 5 years to master a guitar. So like, if you want to get into beat making and you don't know theory, I wouldn't think, oh, I need to learn that first. Just do it, use loops and then learn as you go.
So the next thing I want to talk about, this is what a lot of the people asked about, and they really want to know more about your come up with Type Beats and Beatstars.
From what perspective? What do you mean?
How did you become one of the best? And that's the easiest way to put it.
Okay.
How did you go from nothing to one of the best? In such a short amount of time too.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm one of the best. I like some of the beats I hear online are insane, and the speed that people do, like, you know, that what's his name, Rio Leva, Is that his name?
Yeah, I know him.
Like, he just bangs out like 50 beats in a day. So
some of these guys are.
I know, yeah. So I wouldn't say I'm one of the best, but in terms of like top selling, I think one thing that I do differently to other people is, well, I found a niche to start with. So I do a lot of country trap beats, and so I found a keyword that people search a lot, and then I dominated it on YouTube. So if you search country type beat, it's just all my beats.
It's all you.
Yeah. So that helped a lot. And about 70% of my sales are driven from YouTube. So people find me on YouTube, they click through to my website and buy. So that obviously helps tremendously. I also think that I put a lot more effort into, like, I treat each beat as like a product, and the aim of the beat is to make it as easy as possible for the person listening to come up with an idea for a song that they like. Because if they come up with an idea that they like, even if it's not good, like objectively, if they like it, then they'll go and buy it. So that means that, for starters, on YouTube, if you don't put any effort into the thumbnail or the title, they won't click on it. So I put a lot of effort into that. I probably spend like an hour on average for each beat, getting a good thumbnail and coming up with a name. But also, it's like a triad. So the name and the thumbnail and the sound of the beat all have to make sense with each other. So if I have a beat called, I don't know, Peace or Chill or something like that, but then the thumbnail is, I don't know, a guy with a gun, and then the beat is a classical beat, it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any sense. Whereas if I have a Christmas beat and then I call it Snowfall, and then I have a bright thumbnail which is red and green and white and it has snow on it, then when someone listens to the beat, they will see the name Snowfall and it will inspire thoughts for a song, and then they'll look at the thumbnail and it'll get them in the Christmassy mood, and then they're more likely to come up with an idea for a song that they like, and once they do that, they'll buy it. So I sort of look at that as an entire, like, as a whole package product. It's not like the beat, you can have the best beat in the world, but if people don't click on it, then they're never going to hear it. I would say that's a big part. Branding as well. Like my page, I've had people tell me many times that when they see the thumbnail in the sidebar on YouTube, they just know it's mine already. So that's a big thing, I guess, putting effort into that. And then all my beats are very melodic as well. I think that helps a lot because the Beatstars is just really saturated with trap beats.
Do you think the type beat game is oversaturated?
I would never say oversaturated, because saturated just means it's a booming industry. So like e-commerce is saturated, but Shopify still is there, and
exactly.
So I wouldn't say oversaturated is the right term. I'd say it just means that there's a bigger opportunity if it's oversaturated.
Oversaturated just means more potential buyers.
Exactly, yeah. But there is a distinction there, because I would say there is too many generic trap beats, and you need to be able to stand out with your own unique sound, instead of just trying to do what other people are doing. Because if you just try and make a beat that sounds like another beat, it will never be as good as the original. In that sense, it's oversaturated just because of what people are posting. But if they posted what they want to post, and made it unique, like that's another. People say I'm weird because I don't really listen to music, like, ever, because I'm worried that if I listen to something, then I'm subconsciously going to just recreate it when I make a beat.
That makes sense.
So I don't really listen to music, and I just make what I want to make, and then that's why it sounds unique, I guess.
Yeah, something I've been saying recently is that type beat shouldn't be like a way to just copy somebody. It should be a marketing tool more than anything.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, type beat is just a keyword. That's all it
exactly.
means. It's just, if you're looking for a specific sound, then you would search type beat.
Now, on the topic of that, how do you actually get one of your beats to rank high on YouTube? Is that just a matter of just good music will speak for itself, or is there actually some type of, secret that everybody needs to know?
I wouldn't say there's a secret. So the way I did it when I started, because I didn't know anything about it, obviously. When I first discovered the beats, I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. And then I looked on YouTube at the top selling beats, or beats that had like 1 million views on YouTube. I would download the MP3, I would make my own beats and try and copy the mix as well as possible, so they sounded to the same quality as these beats that have 1 million views. And then I created a folder with like 10 beats in. 5 of them were the top like beats with over 1 million, and then 5 were mine, and I random ordered them, gave them to my dad and my friends, and I'm just like, rank these in terms of quality. And the first time I did that, mine were all at the bottom, obviously. And then I did a few iterations of it, and then it was at the point where mine was like 2nd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And I'm like, okay, now it's good enough to post. So I started posting after I did that. I didn't jump straight into it. Not really a secret, but it just made sense to me to do that. In terms of like the keywords, back to your original question, I just used Social Blade. So I just used the Social Blade plugin on Google Chrome, and then I looked at like beats that were performing really well, saw what tags they were using for the types of beats that I was doing, and then just copy those tags. I have like several different styles that I do. So I do whatever I want really, but I do pop beats, I do like happy beats, sort of pop trap beats, K-pop, Christmas beats, country trap beats. And it meant that when I first started, I was just doing whatever I want, but that meant that if there was a niche that wasn't being tapped in by someone else, then I would be able to see that, because I was doing all these different styles, and then I would be able to see, okay, that one does better than this, let's do more of that. Whereas if you just do the same style from the beginning and never change it up, you might get lucky and that might be the style that blows up, but it's unlikely. So I'd say try a bunch of different styles, mix it up a bit from the beginning, and then see what works better than other things, and then do more of that.
So do you think that you can do multiple niches on one channel? Because a lot of people have the mindset that, you should just post the same title over and over again.
I do whatever I want. I post pop beats, Christmas beats, trap beats, country beats. So I don't agree with that at all. I think if you just make what you want to make and you're not trying to force it, then it will sound good. And also you have the benefit then of getting a wider audience that are interested in your beats. So I have a lot of customers in Asia who like the happy pop K-pop beats. And if I didn't do those because I thought, my beat channel is mainly a country channel, then I wouldn't make sales from those. And then I'd be thinking, I shouldn't do Christmas beats because people are expecting country beats. Christmas beats for me at the moment, because it's coming up to Christmas, they are selling better than anything else. So if you consistently switch it up but keep it within, like, I'm not doing, I have certain sort of what would you call it, categories that I always do. So
yeah, it's not like it's something random every single time.
Yeah, it's like I have 4 or 5 genres that I do, but they're all sort of, they sound like a Jake Angel beat. So that's the consistent bit there.
No, very interesting takes on the type beat game though. I think you have your own sound, which is the reason you can sell way more than other people. Mm-hmm. I think bottom line, the music speaks for itself. Yeah, I would agree with. Yeah, I mean, and also music, just that's what's good about music. It doesn't discriminate. People don't care like about you as a person, and that's why I did a faceless channel. I never actually wanted to be on camera or anything. So, well, now you are.
I know, yeah. So, yeah, but it's like, if you just, yeah, you're right. The music speaks for itself. So, just make what you want to make, and if it sounds good to you, but then like be brutal about it as well, because Like, if you want to make sales, you have to be honest with yourself, and it hurts sometimes. Like, I remember at the start, I was like, when you make a beat, you're like, this is the best beat ever. I'm gassed about it. And then you listen to one on YouTube that's got 1 million, you're like, and then you listen to yours again, and it sounds shit, and you're like, oh. But that's just the learning process. So
another question that a lot of people were asking, they wanted to know whether you run some type of paid ads, whether that's on, YouTube for your type beats, or if that's on Beatstars or anything.
I've never done like a paid ad on YouTube or anything like that, or on Google or Facebook or anything like that.
So it's all organic growth in terms of your channel?
Yes, it is. Yeah, in terms of my YouTube channel, it's all organic. I have run I think it's $5 a day on Beatstars promotion for my account on Beatstars, and I've done that for probably 2 years, but I have no way of measuring how effective that is. I'm not convinced that it's actually driven a lot of sales. I mean, for starters, 70% of my sales are from YouTube, so it's not driving any of that. And I'm more convinced that the algorithm favors sales. So all the sales I'm making from people come from YouTube is pushing my beats to the marketplace.
That makes sense.
Instead of the promotion $5 a day. I mean, that's not a big ad spend, so I don't think that's doing a lot.
Something else that a lot of people wanted to know was just, what does a general day in your life look like? Do you have like a super strict routine where you're just making beats all day, or is it a little more loosely and you just kind of do what you want?
I do the same thing every single day, basically. I eat the same food, I get up at the same time, and I do the same thing every day, but I love it. So a typical day in the life is I wake up about 7, cold shower right off the bat, head down to the gym, do some stretching, abs, and run, come back up, fruit smoothie, do my emails and DMs and YouTube comments while I have that. Then I have 4 scrambled eggs and a croissant, and then I usually, after that, I just make beats until lunch, and then I have lunch, go to the gym, do weights, come back, make beats until the evening. That's it.
That's actually a pretty productive routine, especially compared to most people. How many beats do you think you would get done in a day?
I'm also scheduling them as well. Like I say, I spent about an hour doing the admin side of things, but then I'm also doing like longer term business plays at the same time, to just grow the beat business. So I've got a few things that I'm working on, so that takes up some time, but on average, I would probably say, if I was just doing beats on a day, if I had a day where I was just doing beats, probably 3 to 5 beats in a day is realistic.
And then in terms of those beats, do those all go to YouTube, or do you have other things going on, such as placements or just whatever else?
They all go to YouTube anyway. I'm doing sessions with artists here in Nashville, and I do send packs out, yeah. But yeah, even when I do that, I always schedule them on YouTube. Even if like an artist is holding one, I would schedule it on YouTube to release in 3 months or something. So then I know it's not going to waste, and I would make that clear. I'd be like, I'm scheduling it so it comes out in like 3 or 6 months. So you've got that amount of time to either shop the beat around or like use it, and if you don't use it, then it'll go on my page. Yeah, I mean, I would say YouTube is definitely king, because everyone I've ever worked with has found me on YouTube. Like every big song that's ever happened has come from them finding me on YouTube.
So even some of your biggest placements are just strictly through your YouTube channel?
That's everything.
Do you have multiple channels, or do you just post on the one?
I just post on the one. Yeah, just the one channel. I've got about 400 beats on there now, I think. I've posted more than that, but then I've obviously sold a bunch exclusive as well. So that's the highest leverage way to do it as well, because if you're sending a beat pack out to someone, it's kind of weird to send the same beat pack to another person, because they're thinking that that's for them. So if you just post it on YouTube, then people can come to you and there's no expectation that you're holding a beat for them. And if they want it, they'll buy it, and then you can take it down and do it from there, and then just build the relationship with them personally after that. Do favors for them, get that goodwill, do good deals from the beginning, build a good relationship. And that's what's happened with I've got probably 4 or 5 people that I work with regularly now who are quite big. Well, they're pulling in big numbers, and that's all come from them finding me on YouTube and then just nurturing that relationship from the beginning.
So you think relationships are the best way to get returning customers and overall just bigger in the music industry?
I would say just go above and beyond in terms of doing favors for people, and look for the long term, and don't try and squeeze every penny out of deals, and don't look for, because I see that a lot, like people try and up the price for an advance for the first time they're doing a song with someone, because they want the cash now and they think they need it now, and maybe they do, but it's short-sighted thinking, because there's an artist that I work with regularly now, and he's a country singer, and he wasn't particularly famous when I first met him. He found me on YouTube. He wanted a beat. I sold the beat to him exclusive for $350, which was like really, really cheap for me at the time. It was early on as well. It was only about 6 months after I started, but I was still selling exclusives for about $800 or $1,000 at the time. Probably $800.
Even that early on?
Yeah, $800, I would say, because I valued the hypothetical potential of the beat more than the cash there, because you don't know who's listening and who could find it in the future. And if you sell it exclusive, then it's gone, and you won't know that you've missed out because it's gone, but you might have missed out on that other life path, But yeah, so I sold the beat to him for $350, did a really good deal on him because I believed in him. And then that went a long way, in terms of building the relationship. And then we did a few songs after that. One of them's about to go gold, I think, now. And he flew me out for one of his shows last year in Nashville. And then I moved here. So I wouldn't be here in Nashville right now if I hadn't had done that deal for him. It's difficult because it's a case-by-case basis, because like in that case, I sold it for $350, and that goes against what I just said, which is value the potential of the beat more than the exclusive sale, the upfront cash. But in this case, I believed in him, and I thought he's the best person for this beat. There's not going to be someone better for it. And a general rule of thumb that I use as well is, if the beat's been up for 2 years and it hasn't sold a lot, then I'd be happy to sell it.
This one is another viewer question. If you had to start from scratch right now, what would you do, and how long would it take you to get back to a decent spot?
I would just do exactly the same thing. Same thing that I've done. I'd start a faceless brand. I'd work on getting a good brand. I mean, Jake Angel's a relatively memorable name, and it's got positive connotations with it. So I'd come up with a good brand. I'd design a good logo or whatever. I'd see what other people are posting. I'd copy their mixes to make my beats as good as possible. Then I would make the beats that I want to make, that I think sound good, and I'd try a bunch of different genres, see what sticks more than others, and then I'd do more of that, and just consistently posting like every other day, every day for a long time, without expectation of earnings. When I first started before, I went into it expecting not to make any money for the first 6 months, and I made my first sale after a month, $15. Yeah, that's what I do, and then I just hustle. You just gotta hustle with it. It is a hustle. You just 6, 8, 10 hours every day without expectation of pay, but then it's better than getting a job. So It's like
exactly.
it's like what's harder, being broke and not doing a job you don't like, working for some dickhead boss, or working your ass off for no expectation of pay by yourself alone. I would choose that every day of the week. Yeah, it's just about choosing which hard you want to do.
Overall, it's really just personal branding, quality music, study the people at the top, and just work hard, especially that last part. Just work.
Yeah, for sure. But then, like, I enjoy doing it, so it doesn't feel like work when I'm making a beat, and it shouldn't. And if it does, you're doing the wrong business. You should do something you want to do, because you're way more productive if you're doing something you actually love doing, because it doesn't feel like work. So you would do it way more than something that feels like work.
It's very true.
I'm just looking at my stats, and that's another good point. Like, it's just a numbers game as well. So some beats, like, I've got 400 beats. A lot of them have never sold ever. But then I've got some that have made $15,000 from leases. So it is definitely a numbers game. And then also doing collabs with people is a good way to get some more money in.
Do you send out loops to other producers?
I used to. I did that at the start, yeah. There's a few producers that had slightly bigger channels than me when I was first starting, and I would collab with them, get a couple sales from them, and then just, level up a little bit. But I haven't done that for a while, only because it's not the most efficient use of my time in terms of, like, if I send loops out, then I have to make the loop kit and then send it out, and I'm more likely to make a sale on my page than theirs. So it'd make more sense for me to just spend the time making a beat and then posting it.
Overall, that is going to be all of the questions. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. There's some real gems in here. Click here to watch another video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.